Hey, Nashville, it's Tala, Shatara here on the NFM Podcast with not Abby Miranda today, but she kind of looks a little different today.
Yeah, I'm your B-list co-host, Terry Barga.
Oh, my gosh. No, Terry, we are so happy to have you. Today's episode is brought to you by Stat Wellness, T3, and Level. And we are joined today. I am very excited about this because you know I love spin cycling. Do you know I have a spin license?
I do know this.
Okay, good. So I'm not all like just useless here. But
Not just a pretty face?
Well, you know, I like that to be really what people know me as. No, I'm just kidding. But I am so excited. We are talking about Clip-In for the Cure. It is coming up, and there is still time to get involved. We are talking to Casey Holden and Sarah Denger with an E. Danger with an E.
Yep.
I like how she said that when she introduced herself, and I was like, that's awesome. My dad his name is Sammer, and he goes around and he introduces himself like Sammer, like MC Hammer. And I'm like, you are an old Arab man. Get out of here. Anyway.
I'm sure you cringed. Dad, stop embarrassing me.
Every time. But ladies, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
and on time and early.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah,
no hint to our other guests.
Well, and you're also not tired of us yet because I've seen you several times this season already.
I know.
As you're ramping up. So.
Yeah. Thank you for not being too tired of us.
No.
We're grateful to be here.
Well, we are so excited. We always start with our basket of debate. Shall we go ahead and break the ice?
I mean, might as well.
I'm feeling very nervous. I have to, right?
I could tell.
Okay. I will go ahead and grab one if you guys just want to take it, and I'll read mine as we're passing the basket.
Just
oh
take
gosh,
one.
this
Just
is
one.
hilarious.
Okay. Getting greedy over there.
I love this question. If food could talk, which dish would be the most dramatic?
Oh my goodness, that's a good question.
I know.
We got to hand it to Ezra because I used to do these in past podcasts, and Ezra's been taking over some of the production. He's right there on the ones and twos. See, he's very happy that we're saying his name live. I used to do this, and they would make fun of me because it would be terrible. So, Ezra, you're killing it.
This is a great question.
So.
Ezra, did you use ChatGPT for any of this? All of them. Okay.
But listen, you got to be very specific, or you're going to
get a good prompt on
trash
ChatGPT.
like mine. So.
No, 100%. You
Yeah.
got to be a good person behind the computer as well.
Yeah.
If food could talk, which dish would be the most dramatic? Guys, this is really hard for me. I mean, anything spicy, right?
I feel like you could lean that way.
Yeah, that's a spicy person.
Like, give us an example, Tala.
Hot Cheetos have lately been my go-to right now.
Drama.
All the drama. I mean, and it causes like a mess on your face, your fingers, and I can
clothes.
definitely hear them screaming at me for sure.
Yeah.
What about, is there anything coming to your mind?
Yes, just out of left field, I immediately thought of like a toasted Pop-Tart because of the trauma of like being in a toaster and popping back out. Plus there's lots of sugar, which probably amps it up anyway, and that's just exactly where my head went.
I
This is
appreciate the thought that went into that.
Yeah.
I really
Definitely
do.
traumatic for the
Yeah.
Pop-Tart.
I'm now there. Yeah.
Casey, do you have one coming to mind?
Gosh, I was just scrolling through Instagram earlier today, and I saw one of my favorite pizza places, Midnight Oil, was posting their new like pizza of the month.
Nice.
And I feel like they're just adding all these crazy fun toppings. They had like a carnitas pizza.
Drama.
And I'm like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I
wild.
definitely think that would be the most dramatic for
Yeah.
sure. Terry?
Listen, I love hot sauce, but hot sauce is always fixing to fight with something. Whether
Yeah.
it's your tongue, like your face sweating, you know, your stomach. So, and you're tense. You don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's okay, all right, we can put our guard down. This is safe.
Yeah.
Other times you are fighting your body and trying to remind yourself that you like this.
What's like the highest
Yeah.
level you've gone when it comes to hot sauce?
I mean, we could talk, was it Scoville level, Ezra? Yeah. But I don't know.
like
know.
Carolina Reaper.
We've been there.
We've
yeah.
been there.
Gosh.
Yeah, there's one out there called Da Bomb, and it is not the bomb. It is very hot. We actually spend some of our time watching Hot Ones as a family.
I love that show.
It's a good laugh.
It's a good laugh.
Yeah.
It's a good laugh. Okay, those are good answers.
Great
Would you like
answers.
to go next?
Sure. And I have. Ooh. Would you rather be haunted by the ghost of a talkative stranger or your high school gym teacher? I'm assuming they're both ghosts, right?
I would
Sure.
assume that as well.
I would love a talkative stranger because I need someone to talk to. I'd be like, yeah, let's bounce off each other. Like, bestie. Yeah. You really don't know what
I
you're feeling.
totally think that the gym teacher would be great because I think it would keep me accountable, and also as a fitness professional,
Wow.
I might learn a thing or two. Like what's the word? You're really continuing education.
There
They
you
have
go.
a lot of knowledge. They're
There
a
you
ghost,
go.
so they've seen decades of things.
Well, she just made my answer like look like ridiculous.
No, I need my time away from.
I'm like, I
talking
just
to
want a
strangers.
friend. All right. So
Yeah,
are we going to be, what are we going to be?
Yeah, I'm Team Sarah here, I think. I think at least I know what I'm getting with my high school gym teacher. You
Okay.
know, I don't know what's coming with a talkative stranger.
Did you have a good high school gym teacher? Because I did not. Sorry if you're watching.
I don't remember.
So no,
I don't. Yeah.
unaffected.
But I think that also helping navigate teenagers. You know, I have teenage nieces and nephews.
Got it. See,
A
I
lot of
was
good
affected.
pointers from them.
Sure.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have a question before I can give an answer. Does the gym teacher have a whistle?
Oof.
Oh.
Because to me, if he has a whistle, then they're the same.
Yeah.
And I'll
then
take
they're
my
just
chances with the
super
talking
annoying
trainer.
either way.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Mine never had a whistle, actually.
If I was a gym teacher, you best believe I've got a whistle.
We should just get you a whistle.
I had one for a good 4 or 5 years of my career, and it annoyed everybody. So
Should we bring the whistle back to
They've
the
been-
NFM penthouse?
No.
No, Ezra's like, no, dear God, no, I have to go home
no,
with
we'll
this
get
man.
complaints
Like,
from the
no.
neighbors. I'm sure of
Yeah.
that.
That's hilarious. Okay, I like that. I like that prompt. It shows I need more friends.
Hey, we had the same answer, so
We did. We did.
so
Would
we
you
both
be my
need more
friend?
friends. Yeah. Will you be my talkative friend?
Will you be my you really are my talkative ghost friend. So.
I take that as a compliment.
Yes, Casey.
Okay, mine says, is it worse to accidentally reply to a story with the fire emoji or accidentally like a 5-year-old post while stalking someone's profile? Gosh, well, I will say I do have a 1 and 3-year-old at home, and I have been in a situation where they've taken over my phone and I've had to explain myself. So I think that the fire emoji might be easier to come back from.
100%,
Yeah.
especially if something is fire.
Yes.
Right? Because then you're like
Yes.
actually just giving an appropriate response.
Exactly.
True.
I'm there.
with you. I'm with you. 100%. I'm a fire emoji.
I'm a fire emoji. Are you a fire emoji?
I am 100% the fire emoji.
We finally
I
all
just don't
agree
know
on
how
one
you
prompt.
can say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I was 5 years deep into your profile accidentally." You know.
I actually one time was talking about someone and I was trying to send. Well, this sounds awful. Wait.
Do you want to finish?
No, yeah, I do because it sounds awful how I started it. No, actually, it's awful, the whole thing. But I was talking about somebody to my fiance, and I love him. And I was like trying to show him a picture of what she looked like, and I sent it to her, a picture of herself to her. And the comeback was awesome. Do you guys want to know how to get yourself out of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the comeback is she was like going through something really hard. So I just sent it to her and I was like, this is the face of a strong, bad woman. You are awesome. Don't let anyone get you down. This is the face. Believe in her. Believe in this woman in this picture. And she was like, I love you so much. And I was like, thank you. I'm so sorry. Like that
You're
was, no, it was like the best
my
comeback ever. We
gosh.
still talk about it. So if you ever put yourself in that situation, because we all do, just know.
That's pretty brilliant.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Terry?
Okay. I already know the answer to this before I even finish it. Is it worse to show up overdressed to a casual hangout or underdressed to a formal one? I think I feel like we're all going to be spot on this one.
I'd rather be over because
Yeah.
I don't. It's just a reputation thing. We're not trying to
If you're overdressed, what do we get?
more respect.
Compliments.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you look so good. And then someone's going to say, I didn't get the memo. We wearing a suit. But what you're
Suit.
not going to get is subtle judgment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, my husband and I got invited to a Christmas party a few years back, and it said festive attire. And my husband showed up in a Santa Claus suit, and everyone was in like cocktail dresses with like a hint of red or green, not
Funny.
not a Santa.
To be
suit.
honest with you, I kind of love that though.
Well,
I
and
love that. for
I
him.
feel like the devil was in the details. Whoever wrote festive doesn't know how.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on them. That's
Yeah.
not
that
my
really
husband.
is on.
But I
on
agree
them.
with you all.
That is true. That's a very vague word.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very case by case to me. I think just kind of broadly, I think I would actually rather be underdressed because something about being inappropriately overdressed makes me feel like I'll stick out a lot more. And that's just kind of terrifying.
You got to own it, girl.
I know.
You got to own it.
this whole
Own that
thing.
like long prom dress that you decided to wear at a barbecue.
But then, if I'm at a wedding and everybody's dressed kind of nice, but I'm in my, black tie event, that's fine.
Right.
I'd rather that. So
That's where my brain went, because I went to a wedding that was formal, and I did a coat and slacks not matching. And a like I didn't have a tie or a bow tie on it. Everybody had a bow tie on.
Oh God!
And I was like, "Get me out of here!"
Do you carry a bow tie in your car now,
don't
just
even
in
own a
case?
bow tie.
Oh wow, that did not do anything to you.
No,
Okay,
I'm not even a little bit traumatized.
that's hilarious. Have you ever seen the memes and it's like just dress casual and it's like this girl in like full on hair and makeup, glam? You know the ones I'm talking about.
yeah.
That's me.
That's so funny.
I love it.
That's me.
Yeah, it used to be actually. I'm honestly, this is my uniform now. Like the leggings and the sports bra.
Yeah. Welcome to a Fit magazine.
Exactly, and I love that. Which is a
Amazing.
great transition into what we're talking about, because you too can wear this exact outfit and what we're doing and talking about next, which is Clip In for the Cure. Casey, I'm going to let you take it away.
Yeah.
The who, what, when, where, whys. Let people know why this event is truly one of a kind.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So Clip In for the Cure is back for its 4th year. It's going to be taking place on Saturday, September 27th at Geodis Park from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. The way to remember what the event is about is to remember the number 4, which is in our name very intentionally. So if people want to participate, we encourage them to sign up with a team of 4 on our website and commit to fundraising at least $400 for cancer research. And the more you fundraise, the more prizes you win. And then when you come together on the event in September, it's just kind of one big party and celebration for all that we've fundraised and the big impact that we've made. And one person from your team gets to participate in each hour of the event. We have spin classes that are led by some of Nashville's top spin instructors and DJs. And then we have a concourse full of other activities and vendors for people to enjoy, like other fitness classes led by Sarah and some other folks, and just fun for the whole family. So we hope to see everyone there.
And it's an awesome event. And Sarah, you're here, and you play a part in this.
Yeah.
So tell us how you intersected with Clip In for the Cure.
Sure, yeah. So I have kind of like a string of things that sort of made me connect fitness and cancer survivorship, and it's kind of with my own story. So 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's disease. I'm from Kentucky, and I was here barely a year, didn't have family or close friends, and it was just a whirlwind of things to be thrown into, just, with everything you go through and treatments and feeling fatigue, sick, and then having, finances, job. I'm trying to meet people, just be a 23-year-old. So anyway, I went through that for about 3 years because my disease had relapsed within that time after I finished treatments, and it just kind of monopolized my entire life. So as many of my friends my age were, furthering careers, going higher education route, just settling down, family planning, my life just felt very abruptly like stuck, and just, my quality of life was not.
And at 23, that is a lot for someone at your age at 23 to have gone through. I would have not survived. So
It was. And I think that when you go through something like that, you're very well aware, okay, you're going to be chemo, you're going to be sick, you're going to be tired, but just the toll that it takes on like the whole entire person. You get isolated. I felt very, very lonely. Even my peers that were really like frontline supporters, they couldn't understand what I was navigating. They were just, I felt a little bit dismissed a lot, where, oh, at least you're not working full time right now. I'm like, well, what? Would you rather be doing this?
I hate the LEs.
So it was that, and I know it's all well intended. And then, your mental health takes a toll, your body image takes a toll. Obviously with all of this, I was 23. I wasn't like super active, but I was, doing a lot. I was pretty able-bodied, and all of that just felt like it got pulled out from under me.
Yeah.
And I do share all that because it does, kind of tie into what we're talking about with Vanderbilt and Clip In for the Cure. I think that one major thing that happened with me was you're kind of in the front lines of it all when you're going through it, and then fast forward 3 years post treatments, and everyone says, "Oh, you're doing well, you're great." You're just kind of left a shell of a person. Like you're just like, well, now what? And everybody expects like, oh, second chance at life, you got this. So, you know, a lot of me felt very called to like participate in cancer survivor advocacy, and especially for me, the younger adult community, just because, you know, pediatrics and geriatrics are very, very, very important demographics, but with what I realized, there was not a lot of age-appropriate resources. You know, you have to learn about fertility. You have to learn about losing your hair and wanting to feel attractive. You have a longer wind of survivorship ahead of you because you're younger than maybe somebody who's in their 70s or 80s. So I got involved in a documentary film that was regarding young adults with cancer, and it's called Invincible. And I got to present the film in Nashville, and some of Vanderbilt's doctors got to come and speak and do a Q&A after the film just to kind of talk about stuff, and that's where they kind of pulled me in to serve on their board at Vanderbilt. So
that film sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. I don't know if I'm supposed to plug, but
you can.
Yeah, it's great, and it just follows the lives, and it's such a raw. For my story in there, it was when I had hit remission, and then I'm going to my appointment to learn my cancer's back, and it was kind of, I was like, you don't want to have this content in here because it's depressing, but then you realize, obviously, you want the real stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been serving on the board at Vanderbilt for a few years, probably since 2019. Got to kind of re-navigate the ropes after COVID and switch over to virtual. And then kind of in tandem with that, my oldest brother was kind of my rock and my primary caregiver through it all. And he was like, just join the Y, just to get out of the house when you can, even if you're just walking the track, or even if you want to do active older adult classes. And I became really close with this now mentor and dear friend of mine who she teaches like a bar style class, and I started teaching that class with her, and then I started teaching more formats like strength training, yoga, stretch, Pilates, water fitness. I don't teach spin.
Were you an instructor before all of this? So this was so new.
Yeah.
Correct.
Wow.
So
Yeah, and I had a couple questions about that too.
Please do. I could go on and on.
Well, you're obviously in remission now, right?
Correct.
So how long have you been in remission?
So it's kind of hard because I think I still needed a good chunk of treatments before they declared me remission. So I kind of declare that date to be the end of my treatments, which was fall of 2017.
Okay.
I had a stem cell transplant in the spring of 2016. So definitely a 3-year period. I started at 2014. So we're out there.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, that's awesome.
Thanks.
And I know fitness plays a large role in that. So, like, and that's the I know the lead in here. That I hear that actually a lot, and we heard that on the video too that we saw at the launch party.
Yes.
And maybe you can speak to this in a second too. But how much of your fitness desire do you think played a role in that? Like, I don't know the statistics, but was it something that kept you kind of grounded?
Everything. I mean, I just feel so passionate about not taking what feels like an able-bodied for granted, and just being able to share that with people. And everybody has a story that they've been through, and I don't think I would have found a passion for fitness if I had gone through what I did. And a really defining moment when I was 25 was I went on a walk with my mom and dad, who were at the time in their later 50s, and we were just strolling along, and there I had to sit down, and I said, "You're gonna have to get the car. I can't finish this walk. I'm way too tired." And so it just really kind of working back and building strength post treatments.
That was after treatments?
It was kind of after my stem cell transplant, so I still had some few treatments left, but yeah.
And walking into the Y that first time, were you kind of intimidated? You didn't know where to start?
Oh, yeah. And even the first time I went, I accidentally drank this other lady's water bottle, and she yelled at me. And I remember thinking, like, maybe I don't ever want to come back again. But I did. And so I feel really passionate, and I think it just plays into coaching and making sure people are making sure people feel safe, and just like no matter what they've been through or how unabled they may be. I do share this anecdote too. I did a class and the instructor got in my face and she yelled, "You came here to work." And then
At the Y, they're yelling at people.
Oh, for sure.
All right, let's do it. Okay.
She paused the music and declared to the class, "If you're not working your very hardest, you're wasting your time." And that's kind of like an off-putting style of coaching because, you know, I just had chemo 3 days before. So I'm like, I don't know what people are going through.
Yeah.
And so, so to tie it back in with Vanderbilt, I kind of got to serve on this board. And on that board is also, there's a nonprofit I work for called Survivor Fitness. And I'm trained as a cancer exercise specialist. So I get to see clients 24 sessions for free and just help them with navigating all these different setbacks.
That's such a great tie-in because we've had them on this very couch.
Oh, good. Yes.
Such a good organization. And our friends in our franchise in Chattanooga is working with Survivor Fitness as well.
Great.
So love that organization.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Casey, I have to also say, we've spoken before, but for people that have not heard, your story was also very prominent into why Clip-In for the Cure was founded and started. So take me through that as well.
Yeah. So I did not have a personal connection with cancer, so to speak, that led me to this role. But after college, I was doing something very different. I was working as a management consultant at Deloitte. And I was there for a few years. And during that time, my dad, he was training for the World Championship Ironman in Kona. And he was on his bike in New Jersey doing his training. And he was unfortunately hit by a flatbed tow truck driver while he was on his bike. And he was fortunate to make a full recovery. But he suffered from, I think, nearly 20 broken bones, collapsed lung, and the worst of all was a traumatic brain injury. And so kind of outside of my day job, him and I set out to fundraise for other traumatic brain injury patients. And so we put together this little foundation and raised a lot of money and decided where to allocate those funds. And one of the places we decided to give those funds to was Vanderbilt University Medical Center and their TBI clinic because they were doing some amazing work there. And kind of through that work, I got to know some of the development folks at Vanderbilt, and they said, you know, you could be doing this kind of full time with us. And so through that experience and just seeing kind of the impact that we've been able to make on patients at Vanderbilt, I made the big career pivot and kind of jump ship and started at Vanderbilt now 6 years ago. And when I was just starting out, we just kind of noticed that there was this gap in kind of what we were offering. We didn't have a great event that brought together young professionals in any way. We definitely didn't have an event that brought together the fitness community, which was so prominent here. And we also didn't have a signature event for cancer research. And we wanted something that we know how many people are affected every day by adults with cancer or kids with cancer, and we wanted to develop some sort of flagship program to bring all of those things together. And so through a somewhat personal connection, I helped then start this at VUMC.
Yeah.
So.
How has Clip-In for the Cure become bigger and bigger over time?
Yeah, great question. So in its very first year, we did not know what we were doing. I remember I signed up for Full Ride Cycling's first pedestrian bridge ride just to see, like, okay, what are the things I need to think about if I'm transporting bikes? Because I was not involved in the fitness community.
It is hard.
I was a total outsider, and I had no idea what I was getting into. We didn't even have a bike to our name to do this event with. And so I was working from nothing to try to figure this out. And so I was learning from anywhere we could. And we also were faced with COVID in the midst of us starting all this. And so we did have to put our plans on hold for a couple years. But we were finally able to start our very first event in 2022. Our first two events took place at the Nashville Sound Stadium, First Horizon Park.
And you'd wonder, like, how can it even get bigger than that? And now we're in Geodis Park.
Yes, and it got bigger and bigger. And so, this year we're in Geodis Park for our second year. We've now raised over $670,000 for cancer research. We've had over 1,300 attendees come through our doors, and all just really play a big part in fundraising for cancer research to help patients like Sarah and patients everywhere through our research. So
there's a cool part of that I think, outside of what you're doing with the funds and how you're helping change lives, is that there's a cool example of, lead with your heart. And you both kind of did the same thing. Like, you're presenting the story and Vanderbilt's paying attention, and then you're doing this thing of, for your dad. And like, it's just really cool to see you guys go out of your way to do something for others, and a corporation, a giant organization like Vanderbilt takes notice and be like, you guys come with us. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that think that they're plagued by low self-esteem or lack of confidence. Was that the case for y'all? You just did this. Like, you just went where the need was, right? Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
You overcome the self-esteem. Like, tell me a little bit about this. Get into
So
it.
I think a big component of being in my mid-20s, having cancer, your body changes a lot. I lost all my hair. I was on steroids, so felt like my face shape looked a little different, and I have some scars that are slight disfigurements and things like that, and that's just for me. Obviously, lots of different cancers cause different things. I work with a lot of breast cancer survivors, and lots of different things going on with that. And no matter how old you are, body image is important. I mean, it's important about how you feel about yourself and it's confidence. And when it's something that you feel like you're stripped of, that you can't control, it's really disheartening. And I'm very thankful, because when I stepped foot in the Y, it was terrifying. I had my little hair, and I was thinking, I don't know if people are going to think, you don't want to make sure. I never wanted anyone to look at me and go, oh, she's sick. And, that was really hard to wrestle with when your identity feels at stake at that age anyway. But I didn't want it all to mean that I was a cancer patient. But I started going to the Y. The class I took, pretty extreme. Like, I remember my goal was go from 1 pound to 2 pound weights, and everybody was throwing their 15-pound bar up over their heads like it was a broomstick, and I just had my 1 pound weights, and it probably took me over a year to get up to 2 pounds, and then maybe another 2 years to want to do 3 pounds. But it's definitely a slow occurring process. I think in the fitness industry too, a lot of people, especially if they want to pay into it, it's very like, I want those results. I want to get this, or I want this.
Yeah.
And I notice people I work with, because I work with a lot of cancer survivors, or people that have stories of adversity, I notice people better results because they're more about finding their, as cheesy as it sounds to me, it's more about their attitude of, I want to get stronger, I want to get healthier, I want to appreciate longevity and feeling good. And when it becomes too like, I don't like this exact angle of my tricep, can you fix that? And that's when it starts to feel. So I feel thankful with, I think with Vanderbilt, I know that a lot of their mission has been quality of life just outside of treatments, because when you go through everything and chemo and stem cell transplant, I mean, it just eradicates everything. And I know part of, I think, what their research is and what they've really invested in, they want to make an app for young adults, to maybe network, or I don't know, with the HIPAA
I
stuff.
love that.
But I think they care about the whole
idea.
patient, not just, we cured your cancer, you're welcome when you're left.
Yeah, because you guys are now the brothers in arms, right? And it's nice to have some, I guess, validation, but also to not feel alone, right? I mean, that's the whole point. Like,
I think that cancer also, well, I don't just think, I know cancer, from what you're saying, is it's a physical stress on the body, it's an emotional stress on the body. When they take care of the physical stress, you are still left with the emotional baggage that it has. And that just does not go away, just because the physical, aspect has gone away now. So I love that they are continuing outside of the four walls of Vanderbilt as well. I also have to ask this as well. It is very important that we all acknowledge that us or someone we know has been affected by cancer. When you were rallying, spin cyclists or fitness instructors to be a part of this, were you hearing feedback like, I'd love to do this because I know someone or myself or whatever?
Yeah, I think that's the sad truth, is everyone knows somebody who has been affected by cancer. And I think one of the most satisfying things in building this event has been just watching all of these like fitness companies and wellness companies come together to support this mission, because it does hit close to home for far too many people. But it's been amazing to watch so many people come together and see what kind of the power of bringing everyone together can do to drastically change cancer research.
Yeah.
When we get into more of this in a hot second, we're going to take a short break for our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Nashville, welcome back to the NFM Podcast. I'm Tala, hanging out with Terry, TNT.
Hello.
We should have like a
TNT, that's
TNT.
hilarious.
I love that. And we're hanging out with our girls, Sarah and Casey from Clippin' for the Cure. We're talking all about this awesome event that is happening. And it's definitely a heavier conversation because it's dealing with cancer and cancer research. And Casey, you and I have spoken before that right now more than ever, cancer research is not being funded the way that it used to be. Mm-hmm. Take me a little bit through that and why Clippin' for the Cure is very necessary right now.
Yeah, thank you. I think that you've probably seen it if you've turned on the news at all recently, but academic medical centers throughout the country have been impacted by just some recent budget cuts. And one of the areas that have been most impacted is our research, and that applies to our cancer research as well. And so it's been really amazing during my time at Vanderbilt to see all of the progress that has been made in cancer research in just a short few years, and how there are many cases where people are being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and they're surviving and thriving. And I know that a lot of our doctors and leaders are a little worried about the impacts of these budgetary constraints. And so one of the things that we know now is that philanthropy and giving back is kind of more important than ever to help fill those gaps. And so for that reason, Clippin is kind of in its biggest and most crucial year yet. And so we're just kind of trying to rally the community to help us fill that gap to keep advancing adult and pediatric cancer research.
You said that you've raised over $670,000. Is
Yes.
that all of the years combined?
Yeah, that's in
Okay.
just the last 3 years.
How far are we now?
This
in
year,
this year?
yeah, this year we've raised, I believe we just passed $90,000
Wow.
so far this year, with
That's
still a
still
few months to
amazing.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hoping to hit that $300,000 mark for this year alone, which would be incredible. And then what we do is we actually, at the end of every year, we pool those funds together and we make our investigators participate in like a Shark Tank inspired event to
I
allocate
love-
the funds. Yeah.
I love Shark Tank.
Yeah, because one of the things I think is tough with any fundraiser is you feel like you put so much time and effort into raising these funds and they kind of seem to go into a black box and you wonder like what's
Yeah.
being done.
I was going to ask that. It's like, I mean, you answered it in part. Like, you guys, you put together something. You gamify,
Yes.
right? The experience. But what are some of the ways that you've seen the funds used? Like,
Yeah.
where is the biggest need, if there is one? I don't know.
Yeah, so right now, one of the biggest needs that we have across our cancer center is to fund what we call these discovery grants. And basically, in order for our investigators to qualify for bigger, more federal grants, a lot of times they need to kind of prove their concept a little bit more. And so they need help funding like pilot studies or some sort of data collection method in order to kind of just provide some seed funding to their idea.
This is so out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I'm like learning so much right now.
Yeah, it's a web, man.
Yeah.
It's deep.
So that's exactly what we do. Is so we call it Park Tank because the director of our cancer center is named Dr. Ben Park, and so that's the unofficial name
hilarious.
for it. But yeah, once a year we ask all of our best and brightest investigators to submit their proposals for this work and tell us what they most need this seed funding for. And then we gather our executive committee and we gather some of our biggest sponsors and fundraisers and committee members from the event. And we essentially vote with the help of our executive committee who has that kind of clinical research background. And we hand pick where exactly the funds go. And so if you participate in Clip-In, you are riding alongside the investigator whose work was just supported. You're hearing them speak. They're sending you emails. Dr. Ken Lau received all of our funding from last year, and he's actually about to email our big distribution list with an update on exactly how far these funds have taken him in his work. So
I love the transparency.
Yeah.
That is really, really great. I'm learning so much about where funds are going. I'm learning that there's something called an investigator.
Yeah.
I've never known that. I'm so sorry. And Sarah, I have to also ask you, obviously, is this your first year with Clip-In for the Cure?
It's kind of not. I did volunteer in 2023, and it
Okay.
was great. It was so fun.
But you now have a bigger role.
Exactly. Yes. And I get to share my story and then kind of get, storytelling is one of the best, I think, avenues to really,
We're partial to that.
Clearly.
avenues when it comes to, really tugging on people's, heartstrings. And, I think kind of like you're saying, is this just this black hole of where do the funds go when you hear the stories or see faces of the people impacted, by cancer research. I know so many people that have opted for treatments that did require, maybe clinical trials or things like that, and they've done really well with that. And for to be able to host something that can keep those options available to people when depending on your disease, it could feel like a last ditch effort. You want to feel Vanderbilt really cares about, like, not just saying, okay, this is it. I know that they really care about options, and to be able to get to share just a component of, not only what I went through, but just what survivorship is too. So it's all just so important. And I know there'll probably be several people getting to share little stories.
Yeah, there will be 4 people sharing their stories, 1 to kick off every hour. And I believe 3 are actually young professionals like Sarah, dealing with a lot of the same things. And then we have 1 child who, I guess she's not so much a child anymore. She's kind of an early teen now, but experienced cancer as a child. So get to
you
hear
guys
all
are
this
bringing together the community with one common goal, one common similarity that brings us all together, and it's not age discriminatory. Everybody is really coming and being a part of this. I love hearing that.
Yeah, I do too. And you were talking about funds not coming the way they used to, and that is an issue. And this is like, you guys are trying to fund this stuff year round. Maybe you spend a minute telling folks how they can get involved if they can't come out. Like, I'm not doing spin. That's not my that's not my bag. Are there other events that go on throughout the year, or is there another way that they can get involved if they're listening?
Yeah, so for Clip-In for the Cure, we would obviously love for anyone to sign up and join a team. You can do that on our website, which is just clipinforthecure.org. You can also sign up as an individual if you don't have a team of 4 to just easily grab. We'll pair you up with a team on the back end, and I know some people who have made fast friends that way. We also allow you to just create a fundraising page from afar. We have some friends at Optimize You that they can't fill a full team, but I know they're actively helping us fundraise right now, which is awesome.
Love them.
So people can do that from afar. We also have opportunities if you're not a spin cyclist, which you don't have to be, by the way. Anyone can participate. But we also have opportunities for you to just come and volunteer at the event like Sarah did a couple years ago. Or there's also sponsorship membership opportunities or ways for your company to come and table and set up a booth on our concourse. So tons of ways to get involved outside of just spin cycling, and you can always visit our website for more of that information.
You may not know this, but you are in the Optimize You podcast studio. So
yes.
Optimize You is
I did not know that.
one of our favorite sponsors who have made this podcast possible. So shout out.
awesome.
I love the tie-in.
Yeah.
I do too. It's so
Unplanned.
nice.
They're great people, and they
Yeah.
and I know they're incredibly active in Chattanooga. I know they're incredibly active in Memphis too, and not just in sponsoring fitness events, but really trying to get into philanthropy and help help organizations like your own. So shout out to Jackie and Josh. You guys are like true big hearts. So we certainly appreciate them. But yeah, that's so there are other ways for folks to get involved.
Yes, plenty.
Are you guys doing other fundraisers throughout the year for Vanderbilt? Like, what's that look like?
Yes. So we have fundraisers all throughout the year that support just various aspects of Vanderbilt University Medical Center. So we have, probably well over 70 a year. And you can always find the latest on our Vanderbilt Health website. We always list them. And if you ever have any questions, we can always direct you to the right one.
Right.
But there's singer-songwriter nights. There's bowling. There's, we just had a bass fishing tournament up in Gallatin. There is.
Wow.
If
One
you-
for each aesthetic.
Yeah, if you can think
I
of an
love
event,
it.
we have it.
Awesome.
And
Find
you
one for your
went to
demographic.
Vanderbilt, correct?
I did, yes. I was a Vandy undergrad graduate, and met my husband there, and just kind of stayed in Nashville ever since.
I love
So,
it. You're giving
Yeah.
back to, what gave you so much as well. So I really
Yes.
love that.
Yeah, we even have a group of Vandy students who participate every year.
Nice.
It's a club called Studio V, and they have 3 teams already signed up this year. So excited to see
Nice.
them back.
That's so great.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's cool. Well, ladies, we love to leave our guests with the last word. So if there's anything you want to double down on, I want to give you both the opportunity to do that. So it could be your class at the YMCA, or the Survivor Fitness Foundation, and one more tie-in for Clipping for the Cure. Whatever it is, we want to give you that opportunity to do that right now. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm Sarah, and I have a business called Fitness by Sarah, and you can find me at the YMCA. I'm in Margaret Maddox, and then once a week downtown, and
Cool.
teaching water aerobics at the Dive, and I work for Survivor Fitness too. So I love to dip my toes in everything, and all of this is because of my survivorship story and what Vanderbilt has been able to do for me. So that's why I feel very excited and passionate about helping clip in for the cure, and that's it.
I love it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
Yeah. And I just say, one of the most special parts about this is just seeing the fitness community come together and embrace this event. And so I think just if anyone else ever wants to come and participate and be a part of this kind of celebration that we have every year, we'd love to hear from you. And so feel free to check out our website, and there are plenty of ways to get in contact with us there.
And give us the date one more time.
Yes, Clip In for the Cure is Saturday, September 27th from 8 to 12 at Geodis Park.
That's a lot of notice, people. Let's go.
It is a lot of notice.
What are you
No
waiting on?
excuses.
Yeah,
No
links for all of that are in the show notes below. And we really do appreciate you all coming on today and sharing this. I know Tala's done an interview. We're going to do some more coverage. And we're just excited to be a part of what you're doing, and we're thankful to be a part of what you're doing. We love to give organizations like Clipping for the Cure as much press as possible. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. The heart behind it is huge. So we really appreciate it. And that's it for today's podcast, everybody. So from the Optimize You NFM Podcast studio, on behalf of Spread the Positive and Nashville Fit Magazine, we thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and if you found it to be useful at all, please share it with your friends.